How is everyone doing? I hope everyone's having a great day today. Happy Friday. My favorite day of the week. Okay. Hello everyone, how you guys doing? Also guys, for people wondering, I'm gonna have another part of Bully up right after the stream. It's already recorded, so right after the stream it'll be uploaded. I'm doing good, Banana Gamer. How are you? Hello, Isaiah. Yeah, alright. Today's the first day of December. Yep. No, I didn't, Ryan. What happened? Do you know any Mega Man games? I did a playthrough of Mega Man Legends on the channel before. If you go on my channel, you find Mega Man Legends. Yeah, I'll do 100% completion for Bully, but before I start the Bully 100% completion, we have to complete 100% a few other games. First, the Saboteur, which Saboteur is almost done 100%, and then Red Dead Redemption 1, and then after that we'll do Bully. Red Dead Online is, you know, abandoned, but it's not, you know, the online's not shut down. Yeah, I'll do LA Noire one day, I'll do it. Yep. Okay. Don't open fire, just wait, and target will be here soon. Thank you, I'm glad that you liked my Bully videos. I just wanted to ask, when's the next part of Bully? I'm really enjoying it. It'll be right after the stream. So literally right after the stream, I'll have the next part up. There we go. And thank you for sponsoring my channel, Matthew. I'll be careful, I'm broken. Thank you for telling me. Yes, the final part of Enemy Front I'll probably have up tomorrow, Isaiah. Yeah, I think that do you guys think that hanging out with friends in GTA 5, like the single player, like when you choose to hang out with friends, don't you think that it kind of sucks? Like, GTA 4 hanging out with the friends was so much better than GTA 5. Okay, and when we're at 5 minutes, then deliver the target. I don't know. Sony could definitely make a remastered SOCOM. I mean, they own the rights to it. Will they? Probably not. Thank you, Sean, for the super chat. Thanks, man. See here. You retracted your message, Sean? I can't see it. What did you ask me? Rockstar deleted every post from Instagram except GTA 6. Why? Maybe so that people don't do all the speculation garbage on it. I don't know. I don't think they're gonna release a, I don't think they're gonna release a Red Dead Redemption Remastered or Red Dead Redemption 60 FPS. Hey, Pro, for the Downtown Capco livery, for a Broadway muscle car, or complete 50 taxi fares, does it have to be 50 in a row or 50 is random? I'm pretty sure it's just 50 random. I do have it, so I don't think that it's 50 at once. Thank you, nicest person in the universe. How long do you think the trailer will be? Max, probably 2 minutes. Not gonna be longer than that. Hi, Pro. Hope you are good. Love your content. Thank you, Elliot. Thanks, man, for the super chat. Is Reddit Online worth picking up? Yes and no. It really depends. If you've never played Reddit Online before, you will have a ton of activities to do. You'll have the story in Reddit Online. There is a story. You will have the Moonshine story, Moonshine business, trader, collector, bounty hunter, even naturalist, but once you're done with that, it'll be boring. I would only get, if you're gonna get Red Dead Redemption, get it for the single player, but as for the online, you're not really gonna have fun with it unless you have friends. I might do that one, Gunner. I do have that game, and just never got around to playing it. I know the strategy game that's set after World War I with all the robots. I know what you're talking about. Hi, Pro. Been loving your bully videos, and I'm gonna pick the game back up. Also, your Dimitri voice is hilarious when trolling the scammer. Thank you, Mr. Waifu. Yeah, I had a lot of fun driving that guy mad. Thank you, Locke. Hey, Pro, how's it going? I got a trader sale ready. Oh, thank you, Locke, and thank you for sponsoring my channel for nearly 3 years, man. I do really appreciate it. Okay, we'll help you with your trader sale right after this. Yes, there's gonna be a bully episode right after the... It's going to be right after this, this stream. I'll have the next part of bully. Yesterday was your 8th anniversary. I accidentally put nothing, so I had to delete it. I'm sorry. Oh, it's okay, Sean. Yeah, I know. Yesterday, the other day, it was my channel's, 8-year anniversary. That is true, Sean. I didn't have time to do something, but next year I will do something for the anniversary, because it'll be 9 years next year. Hey, Pro, you ever had the Jack's Pizza? They're good. No, I never heard of Jack's Pizza. But thank you for the super chat, Beth. But Sean, if you like the Mega Man games, go on my channel and look up Mega Man Legends, because I did an entire playthrough on it. Bro, it seems like you ain't enjoying Bully much. No, I am enjoying it. What makes you think I'm not enjoying it? The thing is, though, is that I'm not like a lot of other people. I don't constantly laugh or make stupid jokes over and over again. I'm just myself, but I am enjoying Bully. I am. I'm having fun with it. When will the snow come on GT Online for Xmas? It will come Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. I think it'll be the day after Christmas too, and then it'll come back in the new year again. Thank you, Sam. You'll do DMZ another time? No, I can play DMZ with you tonight, and it's just usually I get on pretty late at night. So I can play DMZ with you, no problem tonight, and thank you for the super chat. Yeah, whenever I see the classes, I do try to do them. It was pretty disturbing, Chase, but it's, Gary's a psychopath. Thank you, Drifter Kids. I like Pro's channel because his personality is like my dad. He's very humble, talks about history, and is honest. Thank you, man. Will there be a Tommy Vercetti tribute in GTA 6? He's not going to be mentioned in GTA 6 because he doesn't exist in the HD universe. However, though, he will, however, though, there probably will be an Easter egg for him. No, there will be a part of Bully tonight. It will be up tonight. It'll be right after the stream tonight.
Didn't get everything you needed, huh? Hey, you ain't supposed to be here. I'm taking you.
Yeah, I heard about that. That a bunch of people are saying they can't see the mini-map.
They're digging your grave already.
Manhunt, I'll definitely play. That's a heavily requested game too. You mean like in Bully 2 you could play as a foreign exchange student? That would be an interesting that would be an interesting idea. In a way, Dragon. And Locke, can you invite everyone in here to the posse?
Get everything you needed, huh?
Sanitation workers dig through 20 tons of trash to find lost wedding ring? What? Well, whoever lost that wedding ring really owes them. Mega Man X, I think I've heard of it before, but I haven't played it.
How do you do?
A Saints Row Fallout New Vegas perks, traits, and dialogue would be amazing. I agree. Unfortunately, we're probably not going to ever see a great Saints Row game again. What's the difference between a sociopath and a psychopath? Sociopaths are basically like, kind of like, think of them as like a less worse psychopath. Sociopaths are usually like criminals, you know, gangsters, people who really have no conscience. They don't really care about others. They'll just do horrible things. However, though, what I will say is that sociopaths, at least, they'll have the capability of loving, like a wife or husband, you know, caring about family, maybe some really close friends. But other than that, nobody else. A psychopath cannot love anybody. They can't like anybody. They have no conscience. They have no feelings towards anybody. They're a lot of times they're very manipulative, sadistic. They enjoy the suffering of others. Psychopaths are born. Sociopaths are made. Yep, that's true. Sociopaths usually come from a really broken household. Psychopaths, on the other hand, are born psychopaths. They can literally they can be born into the nicest family ever, and they'll still be a psychopath. Black Ops 1 is a great story. It was awesome. I could make one Neutron on I could make one on Gary. There will be a Bully video right after the stream today. Thanks for the birthday wishes, everyone. And yes, Pro, that guy rage quitting made me laugh so hard to your on your wrestling stream, plus SpongeBob fight, that guy with the smile face tattoo. Oh, you mean on fight night. Oh, okay. Can psychopaths change from receiving programs? Yes and no. Can a psychopath change? A psychopath can learn to control themselves, where they won't be a threat to themselves or to anyone else. But will a psychopath ever be able to love somebody else, care for anybody else, have a conscience? The answer is no. They won't. The boss in Saints Row 2 is a sociopath who will look out for their lieutenants, while Claude from GTA 3 is a psychopath who do anything for money. Yeah, I would agree with that description, Mr. Waifu. Not all psychopaths are criminals, not all criminals are psychopaths. Yep, that's true, but because psychopaths have no conscience, they're much more likely to engage in criminal activity. My favorite class in Bully, I think it'll probably be the geography class. I haven't gone to it yet. Is there a history class in Bully? Does anybody know? Is there a social studies class, like a history class? Did I ever get noticed in public? I got noticed in public, 2 times. Technically, I got noticed in public 3 times, but the 3rd time, it was only after I was talking about my channel to another person that they realized, that I was a professional. That was it, like, they didn't recognize me off the bat, but, psychopaths do have a conscience, they just don't care. I don't think they even have a conscience, because having a conscience would mean that you somewhat care. What Call of Duty villain do you think was redeemable? Maybe Menendez before he went all crazy. There's no history class. There's no history class in Bully? What kind of school is that? Hope you're finally playing Bully and enjoying it. Thank you, Anton. I am. I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's going good, JG. How are you, man? Russell has gigantism, most likely, maybe Down syndrome, even though he's head honcho of his own bully group, students in white shirts at Bulworth. Well, I'm guessing you'll probably see him again. Thank you, London, for the super chat. Can't wait to play GTA 6. Well, we're gonna probably have to wait at least 1 year. Oh, I see. You'd surely destroy DSP and bully geographic, geography. LOL. Oh, who's that? Thank you for the super chat. I'm always really good at. Thank you for the super chat, Mr. Wakefield. I'm always good at geography. Like maps, I'm generally good at. Like just finding things. I can do that. I love hearing pro school stories during Bully. Thank you, Ryan. I'm gonna tell way more also. My sister's finally decided to move back home. Thank you, DL Gaming, for the super chat. Oh, I'm happy for you then. You get to see family again. I'll do the Manhunt games, yeah. Yeah, the mechanic class I found to be really hard. It was the only class I really failed at. Or that in English, too. English, I was close to passing. Bro, do the boxing matches. You get extra punch damage. Oh, I did them all. Do I still have to do more? To upgrade my punching? Thank you, Greatest Within. Right now, there is not any videos coming up of me trolling scammers. However, though, there will be a video of me warning people about a flash drive scam that's on Amazon. Most capable protagonist you ever saw: Saints Row, Sleeping Dogs, GTA, Red Dead, Mafia games, Max Payne, Sniper Elite. I would say the most capable protagonist out of those, Antonio, would probably be Wei Shen in Sleeping Dogs, because he can adapt to so many situations. He can just get out of so many bad situations, and he can convince people he's not a cop. He can escape from being tortured. Thank you, Mr. Weifu. DSP is dark. say Defil, an infamous streamer who begs for money and manipulates viewers. He's also a bad gamer. You're gonna say, oh my god, at his Scarface run. Oh. He begs viewers for money? And thank you, Aussie Guy, for sponsoring my channel for 2.5 years. Thanks, man. Hi, professional, everyone. Hope everyone is going well and having a good day or night. You too, man. Thank you, Mr. Nowhere. And thank you, Lendon. Also, since you pacified Russell by beating up in Chapter 1, Russell's bullies will very rarely attack you for good reasons, not in missions. Oh! So because if you don't beat him up, then his bullies are more likely to attack you. Well, that's at least a nice detail. Thanks, Aussie Guy, for the super chat. Ah, I just keep falling off my horse. You know, I'll tell you this, I never understood this, you guys are telling me this guy that he like begs for donations. What I'll tell you about it is, I never understood why some YouTubers and Twitch streamers, the Twitch streamers I notice are the worst with this typically, but there are a few YouTubers, how they just demand donations from their viewers. It's just so scummy. What's up, Pro? How are you? I switched to PC gaming because console gaming is becoming too expensive. $70 is $5 for a controller is crazy, and PC gaming is cheaper. Yeah, that is true. But I have the Edge controller on the PS5, and I do like this controller for the most part, but if I get stick drift, I can just switch to sticks for $15, so I don't have to spend $75 each time on that, at least. Thank you, Specialist. Telltale Walking Dead playthrough in 2024, maybe Last of Us 1 and 2. Also, keep up the good work and join the bully playthrough I am. Thanks. I will, I'm gonna have a lot of fun with Last of Us 1 if I decide to do it one day, but Last of Us 2, you guys will probably see me raging on. Just complaining about the story. I've seen this girl asking for money say you viewers get free content. Yeah, look, for another detail for Bully is each gang has different music for when you're fighting them. Oh, I didn't notice that. I did a mission recently where I got jumped by a bunch of rich kids, like the rich kid gang. But, what I was saying is, here's the thing. Thank you, Antonio. If you ever see any YouTuber or Twitch streamer that tells you that you have to donate to them because you're getting free content, this is what you say to them. Because no, nobody is getting free content. Because here's what these stupid YouTubers don't understand. These YouTubers that like demand donations from their subscribers. When they say, for example, that their viewers are getting free content, that's not true. Because even if you watch a YouTube channel, right? And even if you don't, even if you never donate to a YouTube channel, you are still supporting that YouTube channel. Because you watched the video, you gave them a view, you probably dropped a like, which helped the algorithm, and you're probably subscribed, which also helps their channel grow. And these YouTubers will be getting money from ads. So you're making them money regardless of whether you donate or not to these YouTubers just by watching the ads. Most people are on mobile devices anyways when they watch YouTube. So when you're watching, you know, YouTube on these mobile devices and these ads pop up, you're basically giving the YouTubers money, not your own money, but their YouTubers are making money from the advertisers. So whenever you hear these stupid YouTubers, if you're ever watching like a YouTube channel and you hear these stupid streamers, they basically just tell you, oh, you have to give me a donation because you're getting free content. You just tell them this. You tell them that no, it's not free content because we're watching ads and you're making money from the ads. We don't have to give you any kind of donation. And that's exactly right. Is nobody is owed a donation. Nobody is owed that. People donate to you when they like you as a channel, when they like you and enjoy your content, and they want to support you. They'll give you a donation. But it's the YouTubers that say, oh, you have to give me a donation because you're getting free content. Those people are just scumbags, and I personally cannot stand those people. Thank you, Darksider. Hey, Pro, I love your streams and bully videos. Keep up the good work, man. And one question for you. How's your night going? My night's going good, Darksider. How's yours going? And, thank you, Scoot. We better, have birds play a big role in GTA 6. The Kotaku article has led me to expect great things from this feathered fellows. Yeah, so, for people that don't know what I'm talking about, Kotaku published an article today in which they were speculating on birds in GTA 6. I'm not joking. They were actually speculating on birds. Like, literally what Kotaku did was, they took that little image teaser of GTA 6, and they literally took the 3 birds that are, like, in the corner, and they were, like, speculating on what those 3 birds mean. Those 3 birds mean absolutely nothing. It's just 3 birds. That's all it is. And they were just speculating that it means something. It's symbolic, or it's, like, 3 characters, and that's stupid. It's like one of the dumbest things I've probably heard people clickbait on. It's, like, birds in the background on, like, a video. That's dumb. You know what I should do, guys? You know what I should do? I'll tell you what I should do. I should upload a speculation video where I speculate on the symbolism of the palm tree in the GTA 6 teaser. And what I do is I stretch out the video, and I make the video more than 8 minutes long, and then I just shove it with a bunch of ads into it. And then what I do is I make, like, a thumbnail that, like, is very misleading, and I put in, like, a bunch of yellow, like, arrows. And I just say, like, oh, GTA 6 leak here, what the palm tree means. Let me see here. Bro, I saw the new scammer video laughing non-stop with Dimitri's voice. It's ironic for Dimitri to bring the scammer to justice, although he's a psychopath. Yep. I was, that's the thing is, the thing is, Dimitri betraying the psychopath was, like, the ultimate troll, too. Any predictions for the GTA 6 story for Jason and Lucia? I don't know. I just really hope that Jason and Lucia have their own stories, and I don't want them to be a couple. I think it'll be better if they're not a couple, honestly. Thank you, RFE. And thank you, Greatest Within. You go to the boxing gym and go to the blue marker. Oh, okay. Thank you, Greatest Within. But I'm like, when I say that though, guys, I'm not even, like, exaggerating on, like, the amount of stupid clickbait. Like, what people are going to do is people are gonna, like, literally look at the palm tree and be like, the palm tree has this many leaves, and this means this. And this is, like, this is basically confirming this will be in GTA 6. It's some stupid crap like that. I usually stream 2 to 3 hours. Well, look, I don't ban people from my comment section. The only time that I time people out or ban them from my comment section is on two reasons. The first reason is somebody's posting a scam, it's gonna be an instant ban. If somebody is harassing somebody, like saying something offensive to somebody else, then I'm gonna ban them. But other than that, you know, I don't ban people for really anything in the chat. I'm just a big free speech guy, and so I just don't believe in censorship personally. So there's people who come into my stream chats and, like, insult me and, like, call me an idiot. I don't ban them. So that's why is history class important? Because without history, you are doomed to repeat the mistakes of the past. Whoa, whoa, what the? Oh, okay. Oh. What would I do if I won the lottery? If I won the lottery? Thank you, Ryan. Can you give me an exact amount that I would win from the lottery? Like, can you give me an amount? Just give me any kind of amount. And, like, I'll tell you what I would do with it. 100 million? Okay, let's say that I win a lottery for 100 million. Okay, if I won the lottery for 100 million, what I would do with that $100 million is I would probably, I would tell my mom to immediately retire so that she doesn't have to work anymore. The thing is, I've told my mom several times to retire, that because she's just really, you know, exhausted. She doesn't want to, you know, work anymore. But the thing about it is, my mom is just really, how would I say, she's like one of those people that, like, when she's pushing towards a goal, she'll just keep going and going and going, like, just pushing past her limits. And my mom wants to keep working for a few more years to get her max retirement, but she can retire now, technically, but she just, yeah, I love my mom, but, you know, she's not in the greatest of health, and I've told her several times to, you know, that she should retire. She's a cleaner, but, you know, she works in Manhattan, but she just, you know, I told her that I'll help her out, that she can retire, but she doesn't want to. But that would be, like, the first thing that I would probably do, is tell my mom to, retire. But if I had $100 million, what would I do with that? First of all, I would probably buy, a really big, like, dream house in the Midwest. So, like, probably buy, like, a really big, you know, house in the Midwest. Then what I would do is I would probably buy, like, a really nice condo in Las Vegas. And then I would probably buy a cabin in Alaska. I've always liked Alaska. And then I might buy a property in Hokkaido in Japan. Which that's a place that I've always wanted to visit too. The rest of the money, let's say that I have, you know, $90 million left, so $10 million for, like, all those properties that I just purchased. If I have, like, $90 million left, what I would do with the rest of the money is I would literally buy, like, a ton of, like, houses. So, like, you know, smaller houses. I would probably buy, like, you know, 30 or 40, like, you know, smaller houses. And what I would do is I would just buy nice houses and I would rent every single one of them. So I'd rent them all out just so I have, like, a renting income coming from them. I already have, like, one rental property, but I would just buy a ton. Then what I would do is I would make sure all the property's up to date. Any renovations, anything that's needed for that, I'd take care of that. The rest of and then what I would do is probably, if I bought, like, 30 or 40 houses, you know, that would probably be, like, you know, what, another 20 million? You know, 20, 30 million, however, it depends on where. And then the rest of the money, what I would do is I would take, like, probably, like, 30 million or 40 million, and I would donate it to some kind of charity. But it would have to be a really good charity, like something really, really good. Because I'm very picky with charities. And then whatever money I had left, I would just put that money in, like, a high-yield savings account. Just like an account that, like, is, you know, you save the money, and it gives you, like, a certain percentage back on interest. That's what I would probably do with that. So that's it. But here's the thing about this, guys, is I'm not one of those people where I need, like, a ton of money. If I just had, like, a few $1 million, just a few $1 million, I would literally be happy with that for the rest of my life. I would be happy with that. I don't need any more than that. I would just be happy with that and just enjoy that. I don't need $100 million. I don't need that much money. I don't think I could even spend all that money. Like, even if I wanted to, I don't think I could spend all that money. Like, I'm very picky with things that I buy, and I cannot imagine myself spending $100 million. I just can't. So that's, and I probably wouldn't even buy a new car. I probably wouldn't, because I'm not, like, cheap or anything, but it's just that my car is fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it, and I see, like, no reason in buying another car. So, like, I'm just, you know, I buy a new phone, like, every 3 or 4 years, too. So, like, I don't even buy phones that often. I mean, I just got a new phone, you know, what, like, a month ago, but I haven't, it's been, what, 2.5 years since my last upgrade, and that's usually early. Most of the time I go, like, 3 or 4 years without a phone. So I just don't, you know, don't tend to buy new stuff unless I absolutely need something. I'm not cheap, but I just don't, I don't see a need in, like, trying to buy something that I don't need. So that's it. So, but you know what I'll tell you, though, is I don't understand, you know, what I don't understand with some of these rich people, right? What I never understand about these people is I don't understand why these people, like, just want to milk every single penny. Like, why? Like, why do you want to milk every single penny? Like, that's what some of these rich people are. They're so cheap, they want to milk every single penny. And that's the thing is, like, when you have, like, these giant, large corporations, like, these really, really large corporations, and you have, like, people that their employees are working such long hours and for such terrible wages, you know, can't they give them a pay increase just to help them out? Just so they can, their employees, their workers can, you know, have better lives, and at the same time they would be more productive? I don't get that. Like, they literally are so cheap in everything. It's like, it's ridiculous how cheap they are on these things. This obsession with money is like a disease. It's like, it's an actual disease. I don't, maybe somebody, if anybody here knows psychology, like, well, you could probably tell me what it's called. But I'm personally, in my experience, I am convinced that some of these people with money have some kind of mental illness. Like, there's something wrong with them. Like, the people that are just hoarding money. Like, I'm just convinced that there's something wrong with their heads. Because it's like, no normal person just wants to literally just save every single penny like that. Like, there's just something wrong with them. Like, it's just some kind of issue. They're so cheap that they just want more and more and more money, and it's just never ending. I just don't get that. And the thing about this is, like, if you look at a company like Amazon, right? You look at a company like Amazon. Amazon is a multi-billion-dollar company. And you look at, like, Jeff Bezos. He's, like, one of the richest people in the world. And it's like, and he's just still being so cheap at Amazon. Like, it's, I'm just wondering, like, why? Like, you have more money than you could spend in your lifetime. So why are you still being so cheap? Like, there's no reason to be so cheap. There's no reason for that. Like, I remember that I watched this video, like, a couple years ago about this Amazon plant, and I'm pretty sure that it was Great Britain. I think it was Great Britain, because I know it wasn't in America. But there was this Amazon plant. And what happened is, at the Amazon plant, is that when the workers would go on break, they would have to punch out, and the break room was literally like 15 or 20 minutes away from where they would punch out. So, like, they had to cross that giant building, and the break room was like 15 or 20 minutes away. And so, basically, that building was designed like that on purpose. It was built like that on purpose, where the person would punch out, and then it'd take them 15 minutes to get over to the break room, and they would have less than 5 minutes to have a break, and then they would just get back, and they'd have nothing. The building was built like that, so that the people basically think, oh, there's no point in me going on break, I'll just work through my break. That's basically the whole reason it was built like that. And I look at stuff like that, and I'm thinking, wow, you know, this Bezos guy is a scumbag. Like, you know, when I look at stuff like that, I was like, wow, that's really dishonorable. You know, that's really messed up. And here's the thing about this, guys, is what I'll tell you is charity. The way that I personally see it, charity starts the closest to where you are. So it depends on how you are with your money. The closest to the people that are surrounding you, the people that are typically good to you. Are you good to them also? Because what a lot of people do is people point to Jeff Bezos and they go like, oh, Jeff Bezos donated, you know, millions of dollars to charities. But think about it this way. Okay, he donated millions of dollars to charities. I'm not denying that he's doing a good thing by doing that. But then look at how his workers are treated. Just look at how Amazon is run. Look at how the staff is treated. How terribly it is. I have a friend that worked at Amazon. I just hear horror stories about it. And so I'm thinking, is that this guy donates millions of dollars to charity? Can't he at least, you know, make his working conditions better? If he believes in donating to charity so much, then give your workers a good raise. That's what it is. I personally think that him donating to charity, I think he donates to charity for 2 reasons. The first reason is for tax reasons, and the second reason is to make himself look good in the public. I think that's the main reason. I think that's what it's pretty much about. And sometimes, honestly, I'll tell you, I buy a lot of stuff from Amazon, and sometimes I feel bad buying from Amazon, because I know how badly they treat their workers, but sometimes I need something that's on Amazon, and I just feel bad, like, you know, buying something on Amazon, because I just know how crap they treat their workers, but sometimes I need something from there. Hey, look, I missed a few super chats, I'm sorry, everyone. But I hope I answered your question on the lottery there. Oh, the reason I would like to visit Hokkaido, Japan is because I always liked Hokkaido, Japan. I mean, I've never been there, but I've seen so many videos of it. And I've seen a lot of videos on Japan. Out of all the regions in Japan, Hokkaido is my favorite one. Because I just like the mountains, the woods, the winter, the cold there. I like it. So I really like Hokkaido. I like that place. If I won the lottery, I'm keeping it all to myself and not going to brag about it. I use it on my own hobbies, but also learn how to invest as well. Smart man. Thank you, Mr. Waifu, for the super chat. Bully's going really good, Dark, and right after this stream, I'm gonna have another part of Bully up. So you guys will see another part of Bully, I'll have it up. Bro, what is your honest opinion on scratch cards and scratch-offs? I think it's a scam. I think it is. The only lottery that I would ever buy, ever. I never buy lottery tickets. But if I was to buy lottery tickets, the only lottery ticket that I would ever buy is the Mega Million. Like, when the Mega Million is going on, maybe I'll just buy a few tickets in that. That's it. And the only reason I would buy tickets in that is because that's something that doesn't occur oftentimes. It's something that occurs every so often. And so you never know if you could be that winning ticket. You know, you spend like a few bucks a year, and you might win like millions. You never know. So that's the only thing that I would ever, you know, consider spending a lottery ticket on. But like the scratch-offs, all the other stuff, whenever you talk to people that play a lot of scratch-offs, you know what they usually say? They usually say, oh, you know, I lose a little bit or I break even. It's almost always that. And so they never really win money. So it's mostly a scam. So I don't think that any lottery is really good, because you have to think about it this way: these guys make money from their lottery. They make money from that. Just consider that too. Thank you, PlayStation fanboy, for the super chat. Mr. Crab Syndrome, in a way, I would agree. Did I hear about the 5-year-old Kansas City Chiefs fan who was accused of wearing blackface when he was really wearing his team colors? Yes, I did hear about that, and they were like attacking this child, and they were like they were accusing him of being racist, and it turns out that the kid was just supporting his sports team. That was it. He was just supporting his team. He wasn't racist, and I think that the kid was already 50% Native American. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like, I read that his dad was Native American, anyways. So it's like, what the thing about this is, what I like to call it is that's the Twitter mob, basically, the outrage mob. That's what I call them. The outrage mob, they are always looking for something to be outraged about, and they're gonna find something stupid to just get pissed off about, and that's a perfect example of them getting pissed off over something so stupid. Yeah, you're gonna attack a little child that's just dressing up to support his team, and you're gonna call him a racist and try to ruin his life. You know what? These people have nothing better to do. There's a bunch of like scumbags that are doing this stuff. Let's see here. Have I ever played the Dead Money DLC in Fallout New Vegas? Have I encountered the Cloud ketchup gas and Sierra Madre mustard gas on steroid? It goes through the skin. Yes, I played Dead Money. I played it a long time ago, London. And I remember when I did it, when I did the very first time I did the Dead Money, I got locked in the vault, and then the second time I did it, I locked Father Elijah in the vault. If Brad survived, I think he would have been the main antagonist of GTA 5, like Wayne Grove from the movie Heat. Well, Brad would have definitely been a threat. Brad would have gone after Michael, and his entire family. Do I think the completionist should be locked up? I don't know the entire story on that situation. From what I've heard, the guy did a really scummy thing. He basically created, like, a charity that never donated anything, and so he had close to like 700,000 or something like that, and he never actually donated anything to that. That's really messed up. Thank you, General's Alert. But he's definitely gonna face some kind of legal action. There's definitely an investigation into him. And the thing about him is, what I'm really surprised by is that he never made a video explaining like what happened. Like he hasn't made a video. And the longer he goes on without making a video, honestly, the worse that he's making it. But what I'll tell you guys about charities on YouTube is, here's one thing that I'll tell you guys is, YouTube does do a lot of scummy things, it's true, but one really good thing that YouTube does, that they actually don't mess up on, is the charities. The YouTube Giving is actually one of the best programs they've ever done, YouTube Giving. Because YouTube Giving is actually 100% safe. So YouTube Giving is charities that YouTube specifically chooses on there. You go through the list of the charities, and when you donate to a stream or a channel that has the YouTube Giving on there, if they have that charity link directly on there and you donate to that charity page, it goes directly to that charity. It does not go to the YouTuber. So I've done charity streams before, and when you guys look at a lot of my videos are fundraisers. So when you look at the fundraisers on there, you'll see, like, you know, breast cancer, I have that on a lot of my videos right now. You'll see I did ones for veterans. I did ones for people displaced by war before. Those charities, when they're linked through YouTube Giving, they're relatively safe to donate to because you will just the money goes straight directly to the charity. It does not go to the YouTuber, so those are actually safe to. That's the only time that I would ever donate to a YouTuber's charity, is if the charity is linked through the YouTube Giving. If a YouTuber gives you like some random link and tells you, oh, like, you know, donate here, this is like my charity, don't donate to it. Don't. Only donate to the YouTube Giving. That's the only thing that that if you're gonna donate on YouTube, that's the only thing that I would donate to is YouTube Giving.
You're dead. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Nowhere, and thank you, General's Alert. Will I be doing bully lore videos? Maybe, but right now I'm doing the Pegorino lore video. Bro, what was Vichy France? Vichy France was basically a southern France from the period of 1940 to 1944, and it was basically a puppet fascist government that was created by Nazi Germany in France. Ketchup gas to cloud in the Sierra Madre is literally mustard gas on steroids, since it can burn through the toughest hazmat suits and power armor. Yep. And if the bad ending, I know Father Elijah unleashes that on the wasteland, and you don't know what that's going to do. Thank you, Lendon. Thank you, Nick. What do you think about that guy who was streaking on It's a Small World at Disneyland might be a great crazy events video? What? This is the first time I'm hearing about this. Have you heard of the new president of Argentina that was elected? Yes. Who was worse, Joseph Stalin or Genghis Khan? Stalin. I would say Stalin was worse, yeah. Because, Metal Station in GTA 6, like the Lost and Damned and Vice City stories. Oh, it'll probably happen, Mr. Waifu. Thank you. Thank you, man. Yeah, they're probably gonna have some heavy metal music. Yeah, so here's the thing about Genghis Khan. Is, Genghis Khan would not really... Genghis Khan wouldn't kill his own people. For, you know, just... Genghis Khan did not have a paranoia problem where he would just kill his own people. You know, Genghis Khan obviously was brutal, but if you were like a general in the Mongolian army... Like, you would not just be executed just because Genghis Khan was like, Genghis Khan was like paranoid that you were out to get him or something like that. That's the thing about Stalin, is Stalin was just executing all these Soviet generals, all these Soviet officers, just because of just some crazy paranoia where he thought everybody was just out to get him. Genghis Khan was a much more well-composed person, where Stalin was a very unstable man. He was extremely unstable. Didn't he respect other people's religion? Yeah. Genghis Khan did support freedom of religion, that is true. Stalin, on the other hand, basically attacked every single religion. He attacked Islam. In Crimea, Stalin basically shut down and had mosques destroyed in Crimea. He had hundreds of churches shut down and destroyed in Russia. He had many synagogues destroyed as well. So, Stalin hated all religions. How did your life change financially since getting M's sub? Wait, what? What, Reckless? I don't understand. What are you asking me? I'm confused. Thank you, man. Hey, Pro, after you finish up Bully, can the subscribers who requested Yakuza franchise expect a Yakuza 0 series? Yeah, I could do Yakuza one day. We could do that. I'll definitely do them, but I just don't know which one we'll start with, but I would like to start with the first one. Thank you, Ronan.
What the hell?
How do you look young for your age? Two things. I don't drink and I don't smoke. Stalin's only propaganda was atheism at the time. Yes, well, I mean, he was pushing state atheism, but it was mostly Bolshevism. That was his ideology.
You wanna die, huh?
Start up here.
You're done.
The thing about Stalin, I'll tell you this, is Stalin was such an idiot that he would not take responsibility for the massive famine that he did in Ukraine. So basically, what happened was when Lenin was the first leader of the Soviet Union, Lenin actually gave peasants some land. That actually is true. So peasants actually did receive some land under Lenin, had their own small farms given to them. What happened was, when Stalin came to power, he basically said, no more small private farms. And what he did was, he collectivized every single farm in the Soviet Union. And he tried to force collectivize it, where basically means that the government controls all the farming land. There is no private farms allowed whatsoever. And what ended up Stalin did was, he basically sent NKVD squads to farmers in Ukraine and had told them to give up, 80% of their crops, and the farmers said no. We sweat and work on these fields, and we're not giving away all these crops to the government. And Stalin got really pissed off and had a lot of the farmers shot. And what he did was, he also purposely starved villages in Ukraine that would resist his forced collectivization. And so this led basically to millions of deaths in Ukraine. So millions of people starved to death. It was one of the worst famines. And the thing about this is, Khrushchev, who was Stalin's successor, had learned from this mistake about all this mass force collectivization. And what happened was, when Mao Zedong came to power in China, what Mao Zedong did was, Mao had basically forced collectivization right after he came to power. So what happened was, China was a mess right after the end of World War II. So World War II had ended. Entire cities in China were destroyed. Parts of Shanghai were still completely in ruins because of all the big battles between the Imperial Japanese and the nationalist forces. Entire cities were destroyed, states were destroyed, infrastructure was destroyed, and then what ended up happening was, they went through a few years of civil war. So, yeah, they had a world war, then they had a few years of civil war, and after the few years of civil war, when Mao Zedong finally took power, the entire country was in ruins. And what did he do? He did a forced mass collectivization program immediately. He started taking over all the farms, saying there would be no private farms allowed. Government is going to control all of this. And literally what ended up happening was, the Soviets told Mao, they told him, don't do that. Don't mass force collectivize like this. Stalin did this, and it ended in disaster. Millions of people starved. Mao didn't listen. And millions of people starved. And you had those massive famines in China. Millions and millions of people died. I spelled clickbait wrong on my latest video? Oh. And there was Pol Pot. Yeah, Pol Pot was horrible. You know what Pol Pot did? Pol Pot basically had anybody who spoke a second language shot. That's ridiculous. Thank you, General's Alert, and thank you, London. What kind of surprised me in Undead Nightmare is the cannibals' encounters. They're eating cursed flesh, and yet they haven't gotten cursed from that flesh. In a way, yeah, you're right on that, London. Well, I'm not going to answer that question in that way, Dragon, because both of those men were extremely evil, and, both Stalin and Hitler were some of the worst human beings that ever, walked this planet. But what I will say about, if you compare Stalin and Hitler, on just their personality, how they behaved when they talked to people. What I would say on that is Hitler was way more narcissistic than Stalin. Hitler was probably the largest narcissist in human history. Probably, yeah, I would say he was probably the biggest narcissist in human history. Nobody was more narcissistic than Hitler was. And the reason, basically, Stalin was not as narcissistic as Hitler. The reason that Stalin wasn't as narcissistic as Hitler was because Stalin did a lot of really stupid crap. Where in the 1930s, what Stalin did was he had a lot of really good Soviet generals killed. So what Stalin did was he purged the Soviet military, and he basically turned the Soviet military into a joke. It was a complete joke. It's one of the reasons the Soviet military wasn't ready for the Winter War. The Winter War was a disaster for the Soviets. So Stalin had so many generals shot, like so many really good generals constantly shot. And these generals that Stalin had shot, Stalin basically believed that there was this plot where all these generals were in on it, and they were gonna, they were going to plot against him. They were gonna overthrow him. They were gonna kill him. And he turned the Soviet army into such a bad state. But what happened was, Stalin was convinced in his mind that Germany would not break the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. Stalin thought that was secure, that Germany would not betray him, and Germany would not invade the Soviet Union. When Germany invaded the Soviet Union, Stalin was completely shocked by that. He couldn't believe that Germany had betrayed him. That's how stupid he was. And it was a disaster. Now, here's what people don't tell you about history. What people don't tell you about this. Basically, I'm gonna finish in a moment here, Art, on that. I just wanted to answer the question that people said. What ended up happening? What people don't tell you about history. The first 2 years that Germany invaded the Soviet Union, the Soviets were getting absolutely destroyed. The first 2 years that Germany invaded the Soviet Union, the Soviets were getting absolutely destroyed. Like, 1941 was such a terrible year for them. They were just getting completely obliterated. The Nazis had gotten basically to the gates of Moscow. And then Stalingrad, it was at first it was a massive disaster, but then the Soviets turned it around by bringing in reinforcements across the Volga. The winter kicked in, and then after that, the Germans were never able to make another advance like that again. So the first 2 years that the Nazis had invaded the Soviet Union, the Soviet army was just doing really, really terribly. But now going back to Stalin on this, who was more narcissistic? Stalin actually learned from these mistakes. And what he did was, he stopped interfering in his generals' plans. So, Stalin would not tell his Soviet generals what to do. He wouldn't tell his Red Army generals what they could and couldn't do. Stalin would demand updates, sure. Like, he would talk to Marshal Zhukov, and he would be telling Zhukov, like, what's going on? When are you going to plan your next offensive? What's happening at the front? The difference between him and Hitler in that regard is Hitler was the one who decided everything for his generals. Like, literally everything. The generals were able to plan somewhat, sure, but Hitler was the one who literally gave the final say on everything. Stalin learned that he was not a military genius, and so he decided that he's going to stay away from interfering in his generals' plans. He's going to let his generals plan. Hitler, on the other hand, did not let his generals plan. He would constantly go in the boardroom, and he would tell the generals, no, you don't do it like this, you do it like this, you attack like this, you go here, you go through this, you take this city, you hold this city. So, literally, even if the generals knew that something was really stupid, they had to do it no matter what, because they were scared of Hitler. So that was the thing about Hitler, is Hitler would never admit that he was wrong. Every single time Hitler made a mistake, and he lost the battle, he did something stupid, it was never his fault. It was always his general's fault. Even until the last day, like when he shot himself in the head in Berlin, nothing was ever his fault. He never lost any battles. It was always the stupid general's fault. That's basically how Hitler was. He was just a massive narcissist. He would never admit that he was wrong. Everything was always somebody else's fault. It was never his fault. So that's what I would say, is Hitler was the largest narcissist in human history. There's not a bigger narcissist that existed than Hitler in history. So that's the one thing that I will give Stalin, is that at least Stalin was smart enough to not interfere in his generals' plans and at least let his generals plan. Where Hitler, on the other hand, would just constantly interfere in his generals' plans and do stupid crap. I mean, one of the stupidest things that Hitler did was when he actually did not let the 6th Army break out in Stalingrad. Like, literally, the winter was kicking in, they were running out of supplies, and they were just begging him to be able to withdraw from Stalingrad. They needed to leave. because they couldn't stay there. They were getting surrounded and they were getting freezing, and they were running out of food and gas. It was just a disaster. And Hitler was basically like, no, you are going to fight till the very end. You are not leaving Stalingrad. You will sit there. So in his idea, there was no concept of retreat in Hitler's mind. There was no concept of retreat, no concept of withdrawing. It was always just push, attack, attack, attack. That's all it was. There was no concept whatsoever of withdrawing or defending. I mean, look, I think I missed a bunch of comments here. Hi Pro, would you consider doing a Resident Evil walkthrough sometime? Yeah, I could do that. I could do that, Strongheart, but I would probably be really picky with the game that I would choose. Because some of the Resident Evil games I liked, some of them I didn't like. Hey Pro, did Russia win or lose World War I? Because most of the soldiers were untrained and lost a lot of land, but they had a bigger army but lacked training. Russia lost World War I. You know, they did not win the Eastern Front, they lost that. Here's the thing about this. If you guys Google pictures of Russian military during World War I, you will notice something about the Russian soldiers in World War I. And do you know what that is? That the vast majority of the Russian soldiers in World War I do not have helmets on. They don't. And you're probably wondering, why don't they have helmets on? The reason that the majority of the Russian soldiers in World War I did not have helmets was because Tsar Nicholas, the Emperor of Russia, thought that helmets looked ugly. And they thought that soldiers needed to look better in combat. So that's how stupid he was. He thought that helmets looked ugly on the soldiers. Helmets save lives. Hats don't save lives. And that alone is why Russia lost World War I. It's not the helmets didn't cause them to lose World War I, but it's that leadership. Leadership like that is precisely why they lost World War I. The stupid leadership. That's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard. It's like, it's for him, it's a fashion contest. It's like him just thinking, oh, you know, helmets look ugly, so soldiers are gonna wear hats instead. One of the stupidest things that I think I've ever heard.
I just can't shake it. I'd go back, but
the enemy isn't gonna care what you're wearing in combat. It's just, they're not gonna say, oh, that hat looks ugly.
Yeah, good for you. They're over there on the far side of the river. I'd hightail it if I was you.
Oh, get on this horse here. Thank you, PlayStation fanboy, for the super chat.
I mean, you don't want to rescue a horse.
Let me see here. I hope GTA 6 no orbital cannons. You and me both, man. Puzzo, got the sprained ankle, so I guess no Uno game night until winter break. Anyway, hope you've been well. Also, thoughts on the trilogy going to Netflix. Trilogy? What trilogy? What are you talking about? I need a cigar for my character. Okay, there we go. Was Napoleon portrayed as a good person, a bad person, or a mixture of both? Napoleon, I haven't seen the new movie that came out. You sent a super chat on Titan. Let me look. I'm sorry if I missed it. Prince Harry did dress up as a Nazi in 2005. Yes, and I was actually talking about that in my Bully playthrough. I was actually saying that's what Bully might have been making fun of with Gary's costume. Yeah, Prince Harry's is an idiot. He's been an idiot in 2005, and he's still an idiot today. Let me see here. Okay, so about Napoleon. Napoleon is a very, very complicated person in history, and he's a very controversial person in history. Look, what I'll tell you about Napoleon is, was Napoleon a good person? No. Was he evil? No. I would say that Napoleon was somewhere in between being a good and a bad person. It was probably somewhere in between that. Did Napoleon do some bad things? Sure. He also did some good things. Definitely. It really depends on what angle of history you're looking at him from. But yeah, that's what I would say is Napoleon's a controversial figure. It really depends on what you're looking at. Because I'll tell you, for example, and look, I'll tell you, the people that compare Napoleon to Hitler, like I've seen people say, oh, he's the French Hitler. No, there is no comparison whatsoever, none. You cannot compare Napoleon to Hitler. That is a completely unfair comparison to make. Hitler is literally, 100 times worse than Napoleon. That is not an exaggeration. Hitler is literally 100 times worse than Napoleon. Hitler genocided entire peoples. He wanted to wipe out entire peoples. Napoleon didn't do stuff like that. So that's and a lot of the countries that fought against Napoleon in the Napoleonic Wars actually declared war on him first. A lot of people don't know that. So a lot of the countries that Napoleon fought against declared war on him first, but he ended up winning and he conquered them. So he occupied them. So those countries were attacking him first, like, Britain and Spain, for example. Britain, Spain, Russia, Austria. These were countries that were already extremely aggressive with France. Yes, Napoleon did sell the Louisiana Purchase to the U.S. Napoleon basically thought that the U.S. would conquer the Louisiana territory, and so he didn't have enough troops to send there, and so he thought that he's going to take that, he's going to sell it, and he's going to use the funds for his campaigns in Europe. How close were the Nazis to winning the war? The closest that the Nazis were to winning the war was in December of 1941 when they were on the outskirts of Moscow. If the Nazis had taken Moscow, I don't think they would have knocked the Soviet Union out of the war, but they would have, the Soviets would have had the worst setback they've had in the entire war if that happened. Thank you, the guy. Thank you, Super Mario. Hey, Pro, the disgusted face you make during the cafeteria part of Bully was hilarious. Thanks, man. And what I'll tell you guys is, when you ask people what they think of Napoleon, it really depends on the who you ask specifically. Because if you ask, for example, the French typically, from what I've seen, have a positive view of him. He does have a massive tomb in France that is dedicated to him. He has monuments to himself in France. If you ask, like, the Russians what they think of him, the Russians absolutely hate Napoleon for invading their country. If you ask the Polish what they think of the Napoleon, Polish people generally have a very positive view of Napoleon, typically. The reason that a lot of Polish people have a very positive view of Napoleon is because Napoleon, what he did was he restored Poland as a country. It was the Duchy of Warsaw. It was a French protectorate, but it was an actual Polish government with Polish people that were running it. So before, what happened is the countries that Napoleon was fighting against already were imperialists. So it's kind of funny, in a way, that the countries that call Napoleon an imperialist, like Britain, Spain, Prussia, Austria, Russia, these countries were extremely imperialist already. The countries that Napoleon were fighting against were already empires, and they had conquered other peoples. And when Napoleon had conquered the territory that is Poland, what he did was he created a Polish state there. And yes, it was an ally of France. Was it forced to be an ally of France? Kind of. But Poles, for the first time in years, had their own country back. And so that's why Polish people generally have a positive view of Napoleon. If you ask Polish people what they think of Napoleon, they'll generally say good things about him. Because Napoleon is considered a friend to Poland. So that's stuff that you don't hear about. One other good thing that Napoleon did is when Napoleon invaded Spain, Napoleon really hated religion and government. He was not a fan of this. Napoleon believed that religion should have nothing to do with government. He believed that religion has its place in society, and government has its place in society, and that religion and government are never supposed to mix. And what Napoleon did was, when he invaded Spain, he ended the Spanish Inquisition, which the Spanish Inquisition was basically like a court in Spain that would just sentence people to ridiculous things, like being witches even. Like, even up to that point, they were sentencing people for being witches, and they'd have people burnt alive. When Napoleon conquered Spain, he had abolished the Spanish Inquisition. He got rid of that religious court. No more. No more sentencing people to death. No more burning people alive. He ended that in Spain. So Napoleon did save hundreds of lives by abolishing the Spanish Inquisition. But the really stupid thing that Napoleon did, one of the dumbest things that he did, was he appointed his brother to be king of Spain. That's one of the stupidest things that he did. He should have never done that. He should have never appointed his brother to be king of Spain. What Napoleon should have done is he should have appointed a new monarchy in Spain that was pro-France. That's what he should have done. Because then he wouldn't have had as many rebellions. So he should have appointed a Spanish monarchy that was pro-France and, you know, got rid of the religion in government. You know, got rid of the Spanish Inquisition, all that stuff. That's what he should have done. He should not have appointed his brother to be king of Spain. That was just a stupid thing to do. He should have appointed a pro-French Spanish monarchy. That's what he should have done. Now, and I'll read the super chats in just one moment here, guys. I don't know what my horse was looking at. It was glitched. The absolute worst thing that Napoleon did, the worst thing that he did, was when he reinstated slavery in Haiti. That was the worst thing that he did. He should have never done that. What ended up and Napoleon had a massive mistake when he reintroduced slavery into Haiti. Because not only was he imprisoning people who were now free, but a lot of the people in Haiti were actually loyal to France. Because he lost a potential ally by basically turning Haiti into a slave colony again. Because what happened was, during the French Revolution, the French Republican government that was before Napoleon actually abolished slavery in Haiti. So they got rid of slavery in Haiti. And people in Haiti were free for some time. They were supportive of France. They were supportive of the new republic. And what ended up happening is Napoleon, when he came to power, restored slavery in France. He tried to turn Haiti into... he restored slavery in Haiti. He tried to turn Haiti into a slave colony again. What Haiti did was Haiti rebelled. And the crazy thing about this, this is really crazy that a lot of people actually don't know about, is what Napoleon did was he sent Polish soldiers. So he sent some of his best Polish soldiers to Haiti to put down the uprising that was in Haiti. Now, what Napoleon did not count on is that Poland was a heavily oppressed nation. It was extremely heavily oppressed. If you want to know how badly Poland was oppressed, when the Russians had conquered eastern Poland, what they did was they had banned the Polish language. So you were not allowed, if you were Polish and you were living in the occupied part of Russian Poland, you were not allowed to speak Polish. They were trying to Russify Poland. They were basically trying to destroy Polish culture, telling people you can only speak Russian here, you can learn and read Russian, you cannot learn and teach Polish. You can't speak Polish here. What people in Poland did to protect their culture is they set up schools underground, a lot of times in basements, where they would teach their kids the Polish language, so that their kids were not basically brainwashed to be Russian. And what happened is a lot of these, if they caught these people would be deported to work camps in Siberia. And what a lot of people get wrong about history is that people think that the Soviets created the Gulag system. But that's actually not true. The Soviets were the ones who built the majority of the gulags. Stalin built the most of them. But the Gulag system was not started by Stalin. It was actually started by the Russian Empire, the Tsar. The Tsar, the king, would send people there, oftentimes political prisoners that he did not like, and he would send them very far away to these work camps in Siberia where they would die. And thousands of Polish people were sent to those work camps where they were forced to mine rocks in the winter, in the freezing cold, and die. And when the Polish soldiers got to Haiti, they basically saw themselves as oppressing the Haitians, which is what they were doing. And the Polish basically saw, like, the Haitians as themselves. That they've been fighting for independence, they were fighting for freedom for so long, and now they were being sent here to oppress somebody else. And so a lot of the Polish soldiers, they couldn't do it. They could not shoot at the Haitians, they couldn't fight them. And what a lot of the Polish soldiers did was they switched sides to the Haitian side. So what Napoleon did was he sent soldiers that were oppressed to oppress another people who were being oppressed, and the soldiers who were being oppressed did not want to oppress another people because they had experienced it themselves. And so they refused to fight. They joined the side of the Haitian rebels, and Haiti won its independence. It won its freedom. And what happened is, when Haiti won its freedom, all French people were banned from Haiti, but the Polish were the only white people that were allowed to stay in Haiti. The new Haitian government basically gave them asylum, and they were the only people that were allowed to stay. Because if those Polish soldiers who fought on the side of the Haitians, if those soldiers went back to Europe, they would be dead either way, because they'd be hanged by the French for treason and desertion, and if they got caught by the Russians, they'd be hung by the Russians for basically fighting against them. So it was basically a no-win situation. Is that if they went back to Europe, they'd either be killed by the French or the Russians. And so thousands of Polish people actually stayed in Haiti. And to this day, there is actually a Polish community in Haiti. They don't speak Polish from what I know, but there are schools that are trying to teach the Polish language. And there's a town in Haiti that actually a lot of the people are actually descended from Polish people, and they might have like a French first name, but their last name might be Polish. So that was the worst thing that Napoleon did, is when he brought back slavery in Haiti. But so Napoleon was ultimately a controversial figure in history. He did good things, he did bad things, but comparing him to like Hitler, that's not a comparison. It's not a fair comparison. He was not as bad as Hitler. He did horrible things, but it was not on the scale of what Hitler did. In between, besides good and bad, is called a wild card. Oh, wild card. Okay, so maybe Napoleon would fit that. Thank you, Lendon, for the super chat. Pro, what was the reason the Ottomans caused the Armenian genocide? But these Ottomans were all not neutrality. Basically, what happened was the Ottomans, the reason that they had done the Armenian genocide is what happened was this political party came to power in the Ottoman Empire, and this political party was called the Young Turks. The Young Turks were the faction that controlled the Ottoman Empire during World War I. They were a bunch of extremists. Now, the thing about this is, a lot of people get this mixed up with the YouTube channel, The Young Turks, but that's what the name of the political party was, The Young Turks. Now, the Young Turks, they were kind of strange in some aspects. The Young Turks, for example, did not believe that religion should be in the government in the Ottoman Empire. They supported, I guess, to a degree, some more democratic reforms in the Ottoman Empire. However, though, the Young Turks were also extremely nationalistic, very nationalistic. And it was to the point of basically ultra-nationalism. It was pretty much that, where they were basically fascist in a way. That's what you could call them. So the Young Turks you could probably describe as a fascist political party, the party that controlled the Ottoman Empire. Now, the Young Turks discriminated against anybody that was not Turkish. So if you were, Arab, if you were Greek, if you were Armenian, if you were, Bosnian, if you were of any of the peoples that were occupied by the Ottomans, well, technically Bosnia was not a part of the Ottoman Empire at that point, but if you were like a Bosnian, for example, that still lived in the Ottoman Empire, if you were not Turkish, they would heavily discriminate against you. The Young Turks basically believed that Turks were superior to everyone. And what happened is, the Armenians were just absolutely sick of the occupation of their land, and they wanted an independent Armenian state. The same exact thing with the Arabs. The Arabs were just sick of the Turkish occupation too, and they wanted an independent Arab state. That's why you had the Arab revolt in like Battlefield 1. Like the Arabs were revolting because they wanted to have an independent state from the Turks. Now, what ended up happening is the Russians actually invaded the Ottomans during World War I, and they were coming through Armenia. And what happened was a lot of the Armenians were helping the Russian army out. And the reason the Armenians were helping the Russian army out is because they just hated the Ottomans. And they thought that if they helped the Russians out, they would probably get their own state. The Russians probably would have conquered Armenia anyways. But what ended up happening is that pissed off the Young Turks so much that they did the Armenian genocide, where they were just slaughtering Armenians, just killing them, and it's between 1 to 2 million Armenians that were killed in total. Now, the modern-day government of Turkey actually denies the Armenian genocide. They don't teach about the Armenian genocide in Turkey. They basically pretend like it didn't happen, and if you ask the Turkish government their view on it, the Turkish government will tell you that all those Armenians had moved, which is just a bunch of nonsense. The Ottoman Empire basically slaughtered and murdered those people. And that's the thing is, though, is that Turkey, the Turkish government is really the only government that's proud of the Ottoman Empire. They are the only part of the Ottoman Empire that's proud of the Ottoman Empire. There is no other territory that is supportive of the Ottoman Empire. The Arabs hated the Ottoman Empire. The Greeks hated the Ottoman Empire. The Bosnians hated the Ottoman Empire. The Armenians hated the Ottoman Empire. There is not one occupied people that have a positive view of the Ottoman Empire. The only people that have a positive view of that is typically Turkey, the Turkish government. And that's because they were the ones who were in charge. They were the ones who were calling the shots. So if you talk to any people that were occupied by the Ottoman Empire, they would tell you how horrible that empire was. But I hope I answered your question there, Strong Heart. Let me see here. There is a female Israeli soldier who makes TikToks. She's making TikToks even though there was a war going on. It's pure cringe and stupid. I don't know why people would do something like that. It's just stupid. There's literally a war going on, and you would dedicate your time to posting on TikToks. I'm not going to comment on any modern wars right now, but regardless, whoever you are, you know, why would you post crap on social media during a war? And that stuff is dangerous too. If you're posting stuff on social media during a war, the enemy could see stuff like that and could use that to bomb your location. They could possibly figure out where you are through Google Maps, and they could bomb you. That's just stupid. Thank you, Own Titan, for the super chat. Thank you, Dream Messi. Hi Pro, hope you're doing well. I think it would be interesting if Rockstar added a Powerball draw system to GTA 6 Online. Maybe every weekend or more, like a lottery system. Probably not, because it would be considered gambling, even if it was in the video game, and it would cause a lot of controversy, so I can't picture them doing that. Bro, you should do a scammer video, but with a Tommy Vercetti voice and a New York accent. I think that would be absolutely hilarious. I was thinking about doing that, but the next time I call a scammer, I was thinking about just, pretending to be Tony Cipriani. And I would say something like, I would say, hey, this is Tony Cipriani. I work in waste management. Like, you know, stuff like that. You know, just doing like that kind of gangster voice while talking to scammers. And I just start ranting about random stuff in Liberty City. I could do something like that. Let me see here. Do you know that radio air checks audio recordings exist of news bulletins from World War II, like when Pearl Harbor was bombed and the D-Day landings? Oh, radio air, the audio recordings? Yeah, I would imagine that a lot of that stuff would still exist. Hello, Patrick, you look handsome. Well, thank you, man. Napoleon Complex is basically like somebody that's short and thinks that they are smarter and better than everyone. But Napoleon wasn't even short. A lot of people think that's a false statement. That wasn't the truth. Napoleon was basically the average height in Europe at the time. How did my life change after reaching 1 million subs? Oh, well, basically how my life changed is it changed for the better, because sometimes I did get a bit stressed out doing YouTube, but it's been a lot better than some of the stress that I had to deal with, like working through, retail. Some of that stuff. That was just, a nightmare. It was just horrible. Thank you, Reckless, for the super chat. And thank you, Fact Speaker. Hi, Pro, how are you? By the way, what do you think will be better, BMW 430i 2024 or Porsche Macan 2024? I wanted to get a Ram truck, but I changed my mind. Well, how old are you right now, Fact Speaker, if you mind me asking? And thank you for sponsoring my channel. But honestly, if I was you, I wouldn't get either of those cars. Because both of those cars are extremely expensive. I would get a more basic car and just save your money and just the rest and invest it for the future. That grandpa voice from the scam video is so cringe. Please don't do that again. Wait, you thought it was bad, Snake? Wait, but you guys didn't like my grandpa voice on the street on the video when I pissed out the scammer? For a scammer video, you could use an AI voice changer. Additionally, you can try and get 2 real scammers to argue. That's what I was thinking about doing, connecting 2 scammers. But I would have to have 2 scammers' phone number, and they would have to be willing to talk to me at the same time. But I could do something like that. I've played the Just Cause series, yes. My grandpa voice was funny? Okay. Yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with Bully. What is Take-Two? It's the publisher that owns Rockstar Games. I don't know much about Maldives politics. The only thing I know about Maldives is that the Indian army has had some soldiers there, and that the the new president of the Maldives wants the Indian army soldiers to leave. That's the only thing I know about the Maldives. I know they're just islands that are south of India, but I don't know much more about that than that. You should try a New York accent. Hey, how you doing? Oh, whoa, sorry. Whoa, whoa, what the? Do Tony Soprano. Oh, that would be kind of hard to do. Why do you think Mega Man Legends 3 was cancelled? Oh, man, that is... about that. That brings back memories. And that's, honestly, why do I think Mega Man Legends 3 got cancelled? I think it was Capcom getting revenge on, Kenji Inafune. That's what I think it was ultimately about. Because Kenji, was the guy who made Mega Man Legends. And that was, out of all the Mega Man games that Kenji worked on, the Mega Man Legends series was always his favorite. It was always his favorite was Mega Man Legends 1 and 2, and Misadventures of Tron Bonne. Those were always the Mega Man games that he enjoyed, and he's always wanted to make Mega Man Legends 3 for some time. When they started that project in 2010, do Mega Man Legends 3, I remember that something happened, and then Kenji ended up leaving the Capcom. He went to another studio. I'm trying to remember what studio he went to, but basically what happened is Capcom was really angry about that, and I think that they canceled the whole project to get back at him. That's what I think it was personally about. Well, we'll see then, Fernando. I hope they... You know what I would love to see them do? Can they please release Mega Man Legends 1 on the PlayStation 5 like they did Siphon Filter? Can they please do that? Me and my friends do RPs on Red Dead, but we wish that we had more robbery activities. Do you think Rockstar will ever add bank robberies? Well, the only bank robbery that they had is the one that's in the multiplayer. You know, that co-op one that you do, with Samson. But that's, other than that, there is no, what did I just hit? What the? I don't know what I hit a horse? Here? But yeah, there is no, there are no bank robberies in Red Dead Online. That's so stupid. We have literally a Wild West game and we can't rob banks. Think about how stupid that is. Thank you, Battle Rabbit. It's suggested by fans to start the prequel in Yakuza 0 because it's best played in that chronological order to comprehend the origins of the franchise. So I should start with Yakuza 0. I'll play those games one day. I'll play all of them. Bro, what is the most evil animal on the planet? The most evil animal on the planet? I would say the most evil animal on the planet is probably, Wolverines. That's what I would say. Because a Wolverine has basically no concept of fear. Like, it doesn't know what fear is. And Wolverines will attack everything they see. They'll attack people, deer. Wolverines will even attack bears. So the Wolverines will even attack bears and kill... There's been reports of Wolverines that kill polar bears and eat polar bears. Like, have you ever heard of an animal that eats polar bears? Like, that... And a Wolverine is not even half the size of a polar bear. That's what's so crazy about it. It's like, it's such a hostile animal. It'll attack anything it sees. That's what I say about Wolverines. It's probably... They are, like, literally the most evil animal, probably. That exists. It's just such a hostile creature, just so aggressive towards everything it sees. What's your comment, Blue Wolf? What's the most evil company ever? It depends on what country. I can tell you the most evil company in Japan would be Mitsubishi. The reason for that is because Mitsubishi developed bombers for Japan during World War II, and what Mitsubishi did was they used slave labor. So they had people that they kidnapped from Korea, and they used them as slave labor in their munitions factories. And also, Mitsubishi to this day does not want to pay out the victims of that. So the people who suffered from that, Mitsubishi doesn't want to pay them compensation for that. The most evil company in America, that would be really hard. Really hard, because there's been so many bad companies, so many really bad companies out there. I'd have to really think about that one, to answer that one. No, not Amazon. Amazon is a scummy company, but it's not Amazon. Because if you're gonna think like the most evil companies in America, the most evil companies in America were like during the Industrial Revolution. I would say the most evil company in America is a company that doesn't exist anymore. Be Carnegie Steel. That's the most evil company in America. Why is Carnegie Steel the most evil company in America? Because what Carnegie Steel did was they did so many bad things. Workers would work 6 days a week in their factories, 12-hour shifts. There would be no breaks. They wouldn't have safeties on the machines. And little kids would be working in those factories. And little kids would be tasked on climbing into machines. Working in coal mines. Yeah, the company towns. Basically what they would do is Carnegie Steel would run coal mines. And what they would do with those coal mines, they would tell people in the city, they would tell them, oh, you know, come work in the company town. You'll have housing here and, like, you know, an experience to see the countryside. And so a lot of the people that worked in these company towns, ended up working in these company towns. A lot of these guys worked in the cities, and they lived in these tenement homes, which is basically like the first home that Vito has in Mafia 2, where basically it was like these really tiny apartments with only one window in them. And what happened is, these people wanted like a better life for themselves. They thought that they would be provided with a house in these towns, and they get to these houses in these towns, and these houses are basically like, you know, wooden shacks with like a few boards put together. A lot of times they didn't even have doors, they didn't even have windows, and they'd be living in that pile of garbage. And what ended up happening is when they worked in these company towns, they didn't even get paid in dollars. They got paid instead in company scripts, which were basically these like currency that the companies would produce and pay their workers with. And this currency was absolutely worthless. And the only place that you could redeem this currency was in company stores. And the company stores were really overpriced, so that was just a way for the company to get back the money that they paid you. And you could convert it to dollars in the company town, but if you converted it to dollars, you'd be heavily ripped off. So that was it. And then the Carnegie also brought in the Pinkertons. So Carnegie is actually based on Leviticus Cornwall, Red Dead Redemption 2. The Leviticus Cornwall is based on Andrew Carnegie. He brought in the Pinkertons, and the Pinkertons basically shot a bunch of strikers. So there was people that were striking against Carnegie. They took over a plant in Homestead, Pennsylvania, and the Pinkertons came in and started shooting people, and dozens of people died. So I would say that the Carnegie Steel is probably the most evil company that ever existed in America. Probably, yeah, Carnegie Steel. That was one of the Free dental? What are you talking about? Wolverines are the GTA griefers of the animal kingdom. In a way. Thank you, bro. What about BMW in Germany? I'm not sure about BMW, but I know that Mercedes was involved with Nazi war machine. That company was involved. Thank you, Patrick. And thank you, Tricky Mario. You can find the speech Neville Chamberlain made declaring war on Germany that got aired over BBC Radio on September 3rd, 1939 online. Huh. I would have to, I'd have to listen to that sometime. It's always interesting listening to these old recordings of history. Thank you, Mario. Yeah, I remember Zero from Mega Man. The guy that wears red, he has yellow hair. Well, Mr. Blue Wolf, let me just see. Pro, me and my friends 2 weeks ago were debating if Dutch is a psycho. I told him no because Dutch does not show care for Arthur and John, and some moments like Arthur's, Dutch does show care for Arthur and John. Dutch is a massive sociopath. For his gang, he somewhat cares about them, but everyone else he doesn't care about. Hey, Pro, would I rather your toilet, on... Wait, what? What kind of question is that, Sad? Thank you for the super chat. Yeah, I'm just confused by that. Thank you for the super chat, Sad. I do appreciate it, but that's just a weird question. I'm really wasted in playing Red Dead Redemption 2. Tell folk how bad it is to drink, please. Well, I don't drink at all, Casio. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for 2 super chats. The only time that I will, that I ever have any kind of drink is maybe like a glass of wine once a month. That's it. Nothing more. Rockefellers were scumbags too, yeah. Massive scumbags. What we got here? Is asking for likes the same as asking donations? No. There's nothing wrong with asking people to like your stream. But asking for, asking for a donation is something else. Asking somebody to drop a like is just asking them to press a button. Asking for a donation is actually asking for people's money, so no, I wouldn't say it's the same. Please tell people not to drink who's still young. Yeah, don't drink, guys. Stay away from it as long as you can. Don't touch it. I mean, I had to play in these private sessions because I had people constantly joining me and attacking me. Hey, Pearl, love your videos and content. Funny guy. Thank you, Demon Swan. Thanks, man. What I will tell you about, what I will tell you about Poland is, to answer your question. There is something that the Europe... This is what the thing that people don't understand about, like, and I guess I'll kind of explain this because I do have a little bit of understanding of this issue, but I do tend to stay away from politics. I'm just trying not to get into the politics aspect of this. Thanks, keep up much love. Thank you, Casio. So here's about this. Poland basically has a love-hate relationship with the European Union. I have plenty of family members that live in Poland as well. And from what I can tell you about people in Poland, a lot of people in Poland that I've talked to, is people in Poland generally want to be part of the European Union. They support trade with the European Union. What they don't want is they don't want the European Union to make laws in their country. When they don't want the European Union to interfere in their politics. That's what they really hate about the European Union. So they'd like to be in the European Union, but they just don't like the interference that it does constantly in Polish politics. And what I'll tell you is that sometimes when the European Union is interfering in Polish politics, they don't understand the situation that they're getting themselves into. Because, for example, the European Union has accused Poland of trying to erode democracy because they've said that Poland is replacing Supreme Court judges. What the European Union doesn't know about that is that a lot of these Supreme Court judges that Poland has been removing were judges that were part of the members of the Communist Party in the past, because Poland was a dictatorship all the way up until 1989. So it was it only is still a recent democracy. It was a dictatorship until 1989. And so a lot of these judges on the Supreme Court in Poland, a lot of these judges were involved with the Communist Party of Poland. It was called the Workers' Party of Poland. I think that's what it was called. It was but it's basically the Communist Party of Poland. And this regime in Poland did some pretty horrible things to people. It persecuted people. It arrested political prisoners, had people executed. And so the Polish government that came to power in 2015 basically tried to get rid of these judges and basically said, we don't want these judges who have this questionable history to be part of our Supreme Court. And that's why they started removing them. The European Union gets involved in Polish politics and is saying that, that you can't remove these judges, it's against democracy. But they don't understand the full context of the history that was in Poland. They don't understand that a lot of these judges did some pretty horrible things and were involved in a lot of corruption back in the day. Because that's the thing about it, is that when communism collapsed in Poland, Poland basically gave an amnesty to a lot of the people that were involved in the Communist Party. Like, for example, in Romania, they had people that were part of the Communist Party arrested, and in some cases, depending on what they did, they were hanged. In Germany, they had a lot of people that were involved in the East German government arrested. A lot of those people were arrested. A lot of the people of the Stasi were arrested. But in Poland, you didn't really have these mass arrests that happened in Romania and Germany. So a lot of the people that were involved with the Communist Party in Poland, they were just never never prosecuted. And a lot of these people still have top government positions. And that government in Poland tried to get rid of those people to stop being judges. And the European Union started getting involved in Polish politics, and that's why people in Poland got really pissed off about that. So, like, when I see the Western media talk about Poland, and they say that oh, Poland is like trying to destroy democracy by getting rid of these judges, they don't understand the full backstory of a lot of these judges. They don't understand what these judges did in the past, and why Poland is removing them from power. Let me see here. What made you want to become a YouTuber? Did it start out as a hobby and grow into a full-time job, or was this something you kind of fell into? This was a hobby that that eventually grew into something much bigger, something that I really enjoyed doing. Thank you. This is a good idea. Thank you for the super chat. A lot of the countries are against what the EU does sometimes, but it has a lot of perks as well. What I will say about the European Union is that the European Union needs to seriously reform, because the thing about this is, since cause damage in the area to lure out the target, the European Union has not done anything really to change within the last, what would I say, 7 years? So it's been 7 years since Brexit happened, where, Britain left the European Union, and in those 7 years, the European Union has really done nothing to reform or change itself as an organization. In fact, what they've done is they have doubled down, and they've actually blamed Britain a lot of times for a lot of the problems that were going on. What I personally think is that in my opinion, what I think about the European Union, I think the way the European Union needs to survive is, if it wants to survive as an organization, it should stay as a trading organization, just a trading bloc. That's what it should ultimately be. It should be just free trade between the European countries. It may be like free movement of peoples, but that's all it should stay as. Is just like free trade, nothing else. The fact that the European Union constantly keeps getting involved in other countries' policies, that's where a lot of people get pissed about. Is that when they're constantly involved in the politics of other countries, because people join the European Union ultimately for trading and cooperation between countries. That's what people join countries join the European Union for. They don't join the European Union for it to interfere in their politics, and that's it. Poland was on the wrong side of history. Well, I don't know what makes you think that way. I literally explained the judge situation to you earlier. A lot of these judges that Poland removed were members of the Communist Party.
Oh, hell!
Who's more ruthless, the cartel or the triads? Cartel. What do you think was the most intelligent mobster? Johnny Torrio. Johnny Torrio, Al Capone's mentor, was the smartest mobster ever. Because he knew when it was time to retire. He went back to Italy, retired, and didn't have to worry about anybody trying to kill him or arrest him. My favorite cartoon, probably Courage the Cowardly Dog. No, what song was playing, Mario? Don't really want to get into that personally, Osiris, right now. Return to Slab, yep. Why these volcanic and cattlemen? I'm trying to mix things up, use different guns. With Indian Superman, Professional, with Yusufami returning to GTA Online, do you think we'll see Luis Lopez coming to GTA 6? Perhaps. It's a possibility. But I would not want to see Luis come into GTA 6. The reason not is because, remember what happened to Johnny? Do you really want to take the risk of Rockstar bringing back a beloved character for them to do something stupid? Were outlaws considered gangsters in the Wild West? Kind of. How do I feel about the UK and the countries in it? Wait, what are you talking about? UK and countries and what? What are you talking about? Frank Costello, he sounds really familiar. I would have to look him up. I know you told us you speak Polish. Mind saying your intro in Polish? Hey, this is Professional, and welcome to my live stream. Cześć, to jest Professional I ja teraz nagrywam Red Dead Redemption 2. I meant more, I was like filming Red Dead, but... Oh, the UK and the countries in it? Well, they're kind of not technically countries. They're more like provinces. You have England, you know, Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland. Okay. Oh, this is just, you know, a shirt that I like wearing for Red Dead. I thought it was kind of cool. Did you see Roman's son being in GTA 5? Since he be well, Roman's son was born in 2008. That means he would be 12. Let me see. Hang on, 12, 20. If he was born in 2008 and GTA 6 takes place in 2024, means he'd be 20. 16 about.
Okay, now you are really starting to annoy me. Yeah.
Yes, he does, Worf.
Look out! What is the problema?
Oh yeah, I think you're right, Snake. I do think that Rockstar will make fun of Saints Row. I think they will make fun of it in some way, in the new game. Maybe it's gonna be like a commercial or something like that, but I think they will make fun of it. When's the next part of Bully? 10 minutes after the live stream ends. I'll put Bully up. Okay, your Bully video is very entertaining. Thank you, man. Yeah, I think that playing as a foreign exchange student in Bully 2, I think would be kind of cool. I think that would be interesting. Macho Man by the Village People, kind of ironic considering what he was doing when he died. I'm not joking either. This actually happened. Well, Rockefeller was not a good man, though, Mario. He did some pretty messed up things, but thank you for the super chat. Bully is cool and it's funny. Yeah, it's cool and funny at the same time. Well, we don't know that. Roman might be alive. I think that the revenge ending is personally the canon ending. That's what I think.
Look who it is.
Yeah, Indian Superman. It's just I've been working so much on the Pegarino lore video, but okay. I know that you're an agnostic, but would you say you're more on the side of believing in him or not believing? I'm more on the side of believing that there is a god. I more believe somewhat that there is something out there. I just don't know what. Sometimes, you know, sometimes I believe that things happen for a reason. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I just sometimes I think that things happen for a specific reason. Thanks for helping me sleep with GTA 5 lore. No problem, man. I always wondered that, like, I always wondered whether, like, people were, like, watching, like, my playthroughs and my lore videos as they were, like, going to sleep. I have seen a few comments of people saying that my lore videos are really relaxing to watch while they're going to sleep. Thank you, Ella Tralad, if I'm reading your name correctly. You think Sonny Forelli is worse than Salvatore Leone? Yes. I'm probably gonna do a video just reacting to it, Indian Superman. Professional is the most informative gamer on YouTube. Thank you, Sky.
I believe I...
I don't think Napoleon was as bad as Leopold. I think Leopold was much more evil than Napoleon. Do I still go to the gym regularly? I've been slacking. I worked out like 4 days ago last time. I should probably work out again tomorrow, but... Will I visit my home country for Christmas? What do you mean? I am in my home country, the US. If you're talking about Poland, that's where my parents are from. Maybe next year I'll consider visiting. Do I know about Francois Duvalier? Let me look him up. He sounds very familiar. Got here, check. Oh, is this the crazy dictator? Is this the dictator of Haiti, this guy? Is this the guy who did the crazy voodoo rituals? Is that guy? About a tutorial on how to get, to Guarma all chapters. I've never actually glitched into Guarma. Thank you, Cassio. Which regional faction is the most evil in the Fallout games, excluding Enclave? Edward Sallow's Legion, or the Commonwealth, Institute of Technology? I would say the Legion is worse than the Institute, because the Legion is gonna cause way more suffering. What I will say about the Institute is, I wish that as the Institute director you could change, like, certain policies. Because the Legion enslaves people, the Institute kidnaps some people, but most of the time, if you're not bothering them, they're not going to do anything to you. Your bully playthrough is on fire, Pro. Thank you, Mustang. In the queue, okay. Great. Okay, check this. Yeah, I hate this. I see that through my bandana in first person. I hate that. Suggestion how to get the Guarma, future videos. Maybe, and I could make a video also on how to start up a, oh, if I had held that, I had a queen. Ah, whatever. But I could do a video maybe like how to get into private sessions or Reddit online. I might make a video talk about that one day, Dragon. They had the Casino Heist was originally supposed to be a single-player DLC. Could you see the Legion falling into civil war after Caesar dies and lose the second Battle of Hoover Dam? Oh yeah, because the Legion is built entirely on Caesar. Without him, it can't stand on its own. Do you agree that Fallout New Vegas is the best Fallout game? Probably not. Fallout New Vegas is my second favorite one. It's one of the best ones. My favorite one is Fallout 3. I just always like the dark atmosphere that's in Fallout 3.
Monsieur? Are you well?
Name a more sinister video game villain who has Makarov beat. Honestly, the only video game character that I think I've ever encountered that's more evil than Makarov would probably have to be Hitler in Sniper Elite. But Hitler was a real person, but like comparing video game, fictional video game villains, I can't think of anyone who's actually more evil than Makarov. I think Makarov might be the most evil video game villain that I can think of, because Makarov literally caused World War III. Millions of people died because of him. So I can't think of anyone that's worse than Makarov, honestly. Thank you, Generals Alert, and thank you, Locke. Will you get to 1 billion in GTA 6 online legitimately? Yes, I will. I will eventually get there, Locke. Delight. Thank you. Anyway, I'm wasted. A huge hug from Brazil. Thank you, Cassio. Thank you, man, and thank you for stopping by the stream.
Hello, dear.
And how are you today?
Très bien, merci.
Pair of 8s. Ah, I got a pair of 5s. Come on, please. Damn. I thought I had a good card there. I don't know, sweet, Shanxi is the most evil character I've ever played in a gangster game against. But the most overall evil character is Makarov. I don't like the cards folding. Mr. Sunshine is pretty bad. The General is probably even worse than Sunshine, but there are parts of Bulwark Academy that remind me of my school, but thank God I never had to wear uniforms. I do know how to play this game, yes. You know, I might talk about when I'm playing Bully, I might talk about one really stupid thing that I remember my teacher once called my mom, and it was over such a stupid thing too. Basically what happened was we had to write an assignment for English class. And we had to write about our favorite TV show. So we had to watch our favorite TV show, and we had to write about the main character. And, you know, their personality, and just, like, a summary of the episode, and, like, how they feel about things. And what happened was the TV show that I wrote about was The Sopranos. The Sopranos was on when I was a kid, when I was in middle school. And so I wrote about The Sopranos, which was my favorite TV show. It was. The assignment was that we had to write about our favorite TV show, so I wrote about The Sopranos. And I wrote about Tony Soprano, and my teacher said that this was inappropriate, and she called my house and called my mom. And that was kind of stupid. You know, the assignment said, you know, write about your favorite TV show. It didn't say what TV shows we're not allowed to write about, but that's what I got in trouble for when I was in middle school. Stupid thing like that. Did I get in trouble? Not really. No. My mom was a bit pissed. She said, like, my mom had no problem with me writing about my mom had no problem with me watching The Sopranos, but she said, like, she's like, why would you write about a mafia TV show when you know you're probably gonna get in trouble for it? And I actually didn't think I was gonna get in trouble for it. I just wrote about a mafia TV show, but... Hey, I wrote about Family Guy, but I love The Sopranos. Oh. Yeah, old Family Guy was so much better. The people that watch Family Guy today have no idea what they missed out on, this new generation. Because I'll tell you this, when I was a kid, Family Guy was so much better. I remember when Family Guy started in the early 90s and the early 2000s, it was literally, Family Guy was the best at that point. It was so good. Today, it sucks. I'm not going to continue going on about it, but please don't call us a province. It's an insult. Oh, I'm sorry. I mean, maybe state more. I apologize then, Jim. But I don't know what to call, like, because, you know, England and Scotland and Wales and Northern Ireland technically aren't countries. They're part of the UK, which is one country. So I guess states then. But I apologize if I made a mistake, and I'm sorry.
Oh, I think I'm drunk.
Did I do the creepy mission in Bully? Are you talking about the gym teacher mission? I did the gym teacher mission, which I'm gonna upload after the stream. Craziest story read about the mob mafia? I don't know, honestly. Okay, let's see if I can bait him. Ah, damn. Oh. I remember back in the 8th grade, one of my teachers threatened to fail me for the rest of the school year because of me writing my name on the left side like I did since going to school. That's stupid. What? That teacher's an idiot. Do you know my dad used to get hit when he was in school by the teachers? My dad, when he went to school in Poland when he was a kid, my dad has always been left-handed, and he's always written everything with his left hand. And so he actually got hit by the teachers. The teachers would actually hit him for writing with the left hand. But it turns out that writing with your left hand, I'm pretty sure that's genetic. I think you're born with that you write with your left hand. I don't think that's something that you learn. What character stands out to you in Bully? All of them. All of the people in the characters in Bully are either perverts, creeps, or total psychopaths. Yeah, I mean, that's a simulator. I mean, like Hell Let Loose, you die in one shot. Hey, Professional, I was debating on buying the PS5 Pro controller. Do you think it's worth buying? Are you talking about the the PlayStation Edge controller? Let me show you. This is the Edge controller right here. You see this? This is the $200 controller. The good thing about this is that you can switch out the sticks. So if you get stick drift, you can switch out a stick for $15. You can buy a new stick without having to buy a new controller. The downside of this controller, it has very low battery life compared to the regular DualSense, but also this. Look at this. See this? Look. See that? Look, see that? I'm literally peeling the controller right now. It's because this. So basically, the grips on this controller are rubber and they peel all the time. Yes, Lexi. Yeah, Pete does seem like the only normal kid in that school.
Oh, I drank too much.
Oh, you made a super chat. I'm sorry. Thank you, Gray. Pogo for that super chat. Oh, would I ever play Fallout 1 and 2? Yes, Mr. Nowhere. I was at the Fallout event, the one that was in Good Springs. I was actually there at the Good Springs event a few weeks back. I took some pictures, which I'm still gonna put on my YouTube channel. I just haven't had the time. There's a way to talk to you longer than a chat, let me know. Like, to talk to you about so many subjects. Well, there went the money I couldn't spend. I mean, do you have a PSN? You can talk to me on PSN, Casio, if you have one. The most horrific case that I've ever heard about. This case either happened in the 80s or the early 90s. It was in Colorado Springs. There was basically this, there was this big biker guy. And this guy, surprisingly, even though, you know, he's a big biker guy, he's never had a history of violence. He's never really done anything bad up until this point. What happened was, this guy, I'm pretty sure it was Colorado Springs where it happened. He killed his girlfriend. And what the guy did was, he basically cut her up into pieces and tried to flush her down the toilet. And when the when the detective asked the guy why he did it, he said that his girlfriend was being way too nice to him, and that she was trying to kill him with kindness. That's what he said. That she was just, that she was too more nice than normal, and he felt that something was off, so he killed her. That was what? That she was trying to kill him with kindness. That is one of the most disturbing things I think I've ever heard before. So people ask me the most horrific case I've ever heard about that one. But, here's the thing about this, is, the biker guy, he had some kind of mental illness, which is why he did it. Why he killed his girlfriend. The thing about this is, I just say big biker guy because that's what I remember. He drove a motorcycle and he was really big. But I don't know what ended up happening to him. If he's even still alive. But what I will tell you about him is he has never had a history of violence. So he's never done, like, anything, you know, bad up until that point. And he had severe mental issues. He needed help. And his mom knew, apparently, that he had mental issues, but she didn't think that it would get, basically, to this point about what ended up happening. Now, about the biker guy, is he was insane. He clearly was insane. And but he didn't get put in the mental hospital. He got sent to prison. Which, I don't know whether he should have been sent to prison or if he should have been sent to the mental hospital, because what he did was horrific. There's no doubt about it. But he clearly had extreme mental issues. He needed help. That's why he was in that state. He basically just killed his girlfriend because he said she was trying to kill him with kindness. The reason that he didn't get sentenced to a mental hospital, the reason he got put in a prison, is because he told the detective, "Please don't tell my mom what I did." That's what he said. Like a child, basically. He said, "Please don't tell my mom what I did." And when he said that if he never said that to the detective, he probably would have been put in a mental health hospital. But because of the fact that he said, "Please don't tell my mom what I did," that is admitting that he knew what he was doing was wrong, that he understood what he was doing. Because to be declared insane and put in a mental, asylum, you would have to be that you wouldn't know what you're doing. That you're not in control of yourself because you're insane. But because he said that, he was put in prison instead. So it's just, I gotta look up the case one day to see if the guy's still alive in prison, or if this happened in like the 80s. But that was just, it was a pretty gruesome, messed up case, and it was just, yeah, it was pretty bad. He took a store hostage because he thought the company was using his last name and telling others to avoid him. What? But what do you guys think? Do you guys think that guy should have been put in prison? The biker guy? Do you think he should have been put in prison, or do you think he should have been put in an insane asylum? Because he did a horrible thing. He murdered somebody. But the question is whether he was, whether he needed to be put in a mental health asylum or in prison. That was the, I wonder what the chat thinks about that case. It's hard to say, huh? Prison, insane asylum, prison. It's kind of mixed from what I'm seeing, yeah. What is it here? Yeah, most people agree it was prison. But he clearly was not right in the head. And the rain in this game is just absolutely beautiful. It's such a shame that this game is not getting support. Do you know what I was always hoping for, guys? I was always hoping for Rockstar to add a DLC to Saint Denis DLC, where we will be able to own mansions. Like, all of these houses, like, there's such a missed opportunity where we could actually own some of these properties, like an actual house that we could own in Red Dead Online. You know, how much of a missed opportunity it was in this city. They could have done so many things with this city in Red Dead Online. They could have done so many DLCs just with this city alone. So it's such a missed opportunity what they did. Fallout lore is great. It's so detailed. And the thing about Fallout is Fallout, you could have so many different opinions in the factions. Most radioactive man in history, the Japanese guy who was kept alive in the hospital for 83 days. Yeah, but the that case that I was talking with the biker guy, the detective who solved that case, I remember, was named Joe Kenda. That's what I remember about it. But I'm trying to remember what the I'm trying to remember what the.
Yup.
I would have to research a bit on that. Yeah, I know it's on Joe Kenda was a detective, which he has a TV series on, like, real cases that he covered, but Caesar's Legion is a terrible faction. Oh, Brian Griffin, for the most part, is a scumbag, I would say, yeah.
I had about enough of that barman running his mouth.
Hey, stop a minute, will you?
There's a collectible here somewhere, but who's leaving these cards here? I will look into it a little bit, Greatest Within. In the next stream, I'll tell you what it was, what the case was if I find it. But I guess I'll probably be wrapping it up here. I did play some of the side-scroller Mega Man games, but my Mega Man Legends is always my favorite one. Yeah, I was thinking of doing the Ambrose Island DLC. I never did that one. Maybe I'll revisit Hitman. Maybe I'll do an entire series on it again in the future. We'll see. Thank you guys for watching the stream. I guess I'll probably be wrapping it up here. Thank you for everything you do, Professional. I really enjoy your content. I appreciate what you do for the community, from the lores to still straight-up gameplay. I enjoy watching. Thank you, Vivian. Okay. First time I was able to watch the entire stream. Have a good night. Thank you. You too, Mr. Nowhere. My favorite character in Bully? Probably Pete, because he's the only normal person.
Yeah, that's what's been said.
Possibly Zach. But I guess we'll wrap it up here, guys.
Anyway,
Thank you guys for watching the stream, and I will see you guys on the next one. I hope that you guys have a great weekend. Take care, everyone.